She was rejected by her fiancé for being infertile, but the billionaire made her a mother of 6. Joyce Williams stood in her wedding dress, tears streaming down her face, as her fiancé handed her back the ring. "I can't marry someone who can't give me children," he said, like she was defective. Broken. Less than. She thought her life was over. But then Gregory Melson, billionaire, single father, man who'd sworn off love forever, walked into her life with 6 children who needed a mother, and a heart that needed her. What happened next? No one saw it coming. Especially not her ex-fiancé. If you're new here, smash that subscribe button and drop a comment telling me where you're watching from. I want to know, are you Team Joyce or what? And to my amazing returning viewers, thank you for coming back. You keep me going. This story is going to wreck you in the best way, so stay until the end. Trust me, you need to see how this unfolds. Now let me tell you about the day everything shattered, and the day everything began again. The dress cost $3,000. Joyce Williams stared at herself in the full-length mirror of the bridal suite, watching ivory silk catch the afternoon light, and thought, I look beautiful. I look like a bride. I look like everything I've ever wanted. Her mother bustled behind her, adjusting the veil. Baby, you're glowing. Marcus is going to lose his mind when he sees you. Joyce smiled. Or tried to. Something felt wrong. Had felt wrong for 3 weeks, ever since she'd told Marcus about the test results. Ever since Dr. Patterson had said the words that changed everything. I'm sorry, Joyce. Your fallopian tubes are severely damaged. Natural conception would be extremely unlikely. Essentially impossible. Infertile. At 35. Before she'd even tried to have a baby, Marcus had gone quiet when she told him. Said all the right things. We'll figure it out. There are options. It doesn't change how I feel about you. But something in his eyes had shifted. Mom, Joyce said quietly. Have you seen Marcus? He's probably just nervous. You know how grooms get. The door opened. Joyce's maid of honor, her best friend Camille, stood there, her face pale. Joyce, you need to come with me. What's wrong? Just come with me. Now. They walked down the hallway of the Asheville Country Club, past guests who were already seated, past flowers that cost more than her monthly rent, past the life she thought she was about to have. Marcus was in one of the side rooms. Still in his tuxedo. Looking at his phone, he looked up when she entered. Joyce. Marcus, what's going on? We're supposed to start in 20 minutes. He set down his phone. I can't do this. The words hung in the air like smoke. What? I can't marry you. He wasn't crying. Wasn't emotional. Just decided. I've been thinking about what you told me. About the fertility issues. And He stopped. Started again. I want kids, Joyce. Biological kids. A whole family. And you can't give me that. There are other ways. IVF, surrogacy, adoption. I don't want other ways. I want my own children. From my own wife. He reached into his pocket. Pulled out her engagement ring, the one she'd taken off an hour ago to put on her wedding band. I'm sorry. I thought I could be okay with it. But I can't. Joyce felt the room tilt. You're leaving me? Today. In my wedding dress. Better now than after we're married. Better. She couldn't breathe. The dress was too tight. The room was too small. I told you 3 weeks ago. You had 3 weeks to say something. You let me plan a wedding. You let me buy a dress. You let 200 people show up. I know. And I'm sorry. But I can't go through with it. Because I'm broken. Don't say that. That's what you mean, isn't it? I'm defective. Less than. Not woman enough to. Joyce, stop. Get out. Her voice was shaking. Her whole body was shaking. Get out. Get out right now. He left the ring on the table. Walked to the door. Turned back. For what it's worth, I did love you. Past tense. How romantic. He left. Joyce stood there in her $3,000 dress, in a room that smelled like roses, and felt her entire future collapse. Camille came in, wrapped her arms around Joyce. "Oh honey. Oh God, I'm so sorry. I have to tell everyone," Joyce whispered. "I have to go out there and tell 200 people that I'm not getting married because I can't have babies. Because I'm not enough. You are enough. He's the one who's not enough. He's a coward and an asshole but he's right." Joyce pulled back, tears streaming down her face, mascara probably ruined. "What man is going to want me now? What's the point of dating, of falling in love, if I can't give them the one thing everyone wants?" "That's not the one thing everyone wants. It is. Kids. Family. Legacy. That's what matters. And I can't." Her voice broke completely. "I can't give anyone that." She sank down onto the couch, expensive dress pooling around her, and cried. Outside, Camille was telling guests. "The wedding is off. Family emergency. Please enjoy the reception anyway, the food is already paid for." Inside, Joyce sat alone and wondered how you rebuild a life when the foundation just cracked wide open. "Oh, let me ask you, have you ever felt like you weren't enough? Like something about you made you unlovable? Comment below. Because Joyce is about to discover she's been asking the wrong question all along. 6 months later, Joyce still couldn't walk past the bridal shop without feeling sick. She'd moved. Changed her phone number. Deleted every social media account. Started over in Nashville because staying in Charlotte meant running into people who'd ask about the wedding, about Marcus, about why she was still single at 35. She'd gotten a job teaching 3rd grade at Mountain View Elementary. Kids loved her. Parents loved her. She was good at this, at caring for children who weren't hers, who she'd hand back at 3 o'clock every day. It was safe. Manageable. It didn't hurt as much as wanting something she couldn't have. September morning. First parent-teacher conferences of the year. Joyce sat at her desk, reviewing notes, when she heard the chaos in the hallway. Not normal kid chaos. This was different. She stepped into the hall. 6 4-year-olds were running in different directions. Literally. One was climbing a bookshelf. One was under a water fountain. One was doing something with finger paint that definitely violated school policy. One was screaming. One was laughing. One was completely naked. "Oh my God," Joyce breathed, and then she saw him. The man in the expensive suit, looking absolutely panicked, trying to catch all 6 children at once and failing spectacularly. "Ava, no. Benjamin, put that down. Charlotte, clothes stay on at school. Daniel, is that permanent marker? Felix, Eleanor, please." The naked child, Charlotte, apparently, ran straight toward Joyce. Joyce reacted on instinct. Scooped the little girl up, wrapped her jacket around her. "Hi, sweetie. I'm Miss Williams. Want to tell me where your clothes went?" Charlotte grinned. "They were itchy." "Fair enough. But we need to wear them anyway. School rules." The man in the suit, 38-ish, dark hair, gray eyes that looked exhausted, finally noticed her. "I am so sorry. They're usually better than this. We had a situation with the nanny this morning and I thought I could handle drop-off myself, but clearly," he grabbed the child with a marker. "Daniel, no. Walls are not for drawing." Joyce set Charlotte down, kept hold of her hand. "You must be Mr. Melson." "Gregory, please. Mr. Melson is my father." He looked around at the chaos. "Are they all accounted for?" "I think they're all. Wait. Where's Felix?" "I'm up here." A small voice from above. They both looked up. Felix had somehow climbed onto the top of the lockers. "How did you?" Gregory ran his hand through his hair. "Felix, buddy, you need to come down." "Don't wanna. This is not a negotiation." "Everything's a negotiation, Daddy. You said so." Gregory looked at Joyce. "I said that during a board meeting." He has the memory of an elephant. Joyce tried not to smile. Failed. "Felix, I've got chocolate milk in my classroom. But only kids on the ground get chocolate milk." Felix considered this. Climbed down. Gregory stared at her. How did you? I teach third graders. Negotiation is 90% of my job. She gathered the children, somehow got them all in a relatively straight line. Okay, Melson crew. We're going to walk, not run, to Miss Williams's classroom, where we will put clothes back on, wash marker off faces, and have chocolate milk. Sound good? 6 heads nodded. Gregory watched her herd his children down the hallway like she'd been doing it her whole life. Watched her crouch down to talk to Eleanor, who was crying about something. Watched her make all 6 of them laugh. When they reached the classroom, Joyce got Charlotte dressed, cleaned Daniel's face, convinced Ava to stop climbing things. Within 10 minutes, all 6 children were sitting quietly, drinking chocolate milk, looking angelic. Gregory stood in the doorway, stunned. You're a miracle worker. I'm a teacher. It's literally my job. My nannies quit after 3 weeks. You just accomplished in 10 minutes what I couldn't do in an hour. Multiple nannies. 7 in 4 years. He looked at his children, beautiful, chaotic, exhausting. Their mother died when they were born. Childbirth complications. I've been doing this alone and He stopped. I'm failing. Clearly. Something in Joyce's chest twisted. 6 motherless children. A widowed father who was drowning. You're not failing, she said quietly. You're here. That's what matters. Gregory met her eyes. Really looked at her for the first time. Something passed between them. Recognition, maybe. 2 broken people, standing in a classroom full of children, both trying to hold together pieces of lives that didn't fit anymore. Thank you, he said. For this. For them. Anytime. He left. Got halfway down the hall. Came back. Miss Williams. Joyce. Please. Joyce. He pulled out a business card. Wrote something on the back. This is going to sound insane. But would you consider, the kids clearly respond to you. Would you consider being their nanny? Joyce's breath caught. I have a job. I'd triple your salary. Mr. Melson. Gregory. Gregory. I can't. Just think about it. Please. He looked back at his children. They need someone. Someone good. Someone like you. He left before she could say no. Joyce looked at the business card. At the phone number. At 6 children who were watching her with hope in their eyes. And thought, this is a terrible idea. But also, what if? Question for you. Would you take the job? 6 kids, no experience as a nanny, but triple the salary and a single dad who clearly needs help? Tell me in the comments. Joyce called her mother that night. Ma, I need advice. Is it about Marcus? Because if I see that man, it's not about Marcus. It's about a job offer. She explained. The 6 children. The frazzled billionaire father. The salary that would pay off her student loans and then some. Her mother was quiet for a long moment. Then, baby, are you sure? Sure about what? Taking care of 6 kids when you can't have your own. Won't that hurt? Joyce's throat tightened. I don't know. Maybe. But maybe it's a chance to, she stopped. To be what I can't be otherwise. A mom. Even if they're not mine. Or maybe it's you torturing yourself. Maybe. But I'm going to do it anyway. She called Gregory the next morning. Miss Williams. He sounded surprised. I didn't think you'd call. Joyce. And I have conditions. Name them. I keep my teaching job. I'll work for you evenings and weekends. Trial period of 1 month. If it's not working for either of us, we walk away. And, she took a breath. I need to meet with you. Really talk. About expectations. About the kids. About what happened to their mother. Done. Can you come to the house tonight? Text me the address. The house was not a house. It was an estate. On the outskirts of Asheville, tucked into the Blue Ridge Mountains, with views that probably cost more than most people's entire lives. Joyce parked her beat-up Honda next to Gregory's Tesla and felt very, very out of place. Gregory answered the door. No suit this time. Jeans and a sweater that probably cost more than her car payment. He looked younger. Tired, but younger. Come in. Fair warning, it's chaos. It wasn't chaos. It was a battlefield. Toys everywhere. Art projects in various states of completion. Someone had apparently tried to build a fort out of couch cushions. Someone else had decided the dining room was a perfect place for a dance party. And yet, somehow, it felt like a home. Kids. Gregory called. Miss Williams is here. 6 small humans appeared from various corners of the house. The chocolate milk lady. Felix yelled. Are you here to stay? Eleanor asked, voice small and hopeful. I'm here to talk to your daddy. But yes, I might be here more often. Forever. Benjamin wanted to know. Joyce's heart clenched. We'll see. Gregory sent the kids to play. Led Joyce to his study. The one room that looked organized, professional, like it belonged to the man who'd built a pharmaceutical empire. Okay, he said, sitting across from her. Ask me anything. Tell me about their mother. Gregory's expression shifted. Pain, grief, something else Joyce couldn't name. Emma. Her name was Emma. He pulled out his phone, showed Joyce a photo. A beautiful woman with dark hair and a bright smile, very pregnant. We did IVF. She wanted kids so badly. We tried for years. Finally, we got pregnant. Sextuplets. Everyone warned us about the risks. Multiple births, complications, the toll on her body. She didn't care. She said 6 was perfect. His voice cracked. She went into labor at 30 weeks. Emergency C-section. The babies were fine. Small, but fine. Emma. He stopped. Breathed. She hemorrhaged. They tried everything. She died 3 hours after they were born. Gregory, I'm so sorry. I held her hand while she died. And then I held 6 newborns who would never know their mother. And I promised Emma, that I'd give them everything. That I'd be enough for all of them. But you can't be, Joyce said gently. One person can't be 6 people. I know. That's why I need help. That's why I need you. Why me? Because you saw 6 children having a meltdown and your first instinct was kindness. Because you didn't judge. Because they responded to you in a way they don't respond to anyone else. Because he met her eyes. Because you looked at them like they weren't a burden. Like they were a gift. Joyce felt tears prick her eyes. They are a gift. Most people see them as chaos. As too much. As broken. Joyce finished softly. Gregory looked at her. Really looked at her. What happened to you? So she told him. About Marcus. About the wedding that didn't happen. About being diagnosed infertile and losing her entire future in one doctor's appointment. He said I wasn't enough, she finished. Because I couldn't give him children. He's an idiot. Maybe. But he's right, isn't he? What's the point of me romantically if I can't? Stop. Gregory leaned forward. You are not broken. You are not less than. And any man who can't see your value beyond your ability to reproduce is not worth your time. Says the man who needs a nanny. Says the man who needs you. Not because you can have children. Because you can love them. That's different. Joyce swallowed hard. I'll take the job. 1-month trial. Starting this weekend. Thank you. Gregory stood, held out his hand. Welcome to the chaos, Joyce Williams. She shook his hand, felt electricity spark where their skin touched, and thought, this is either going to heal me or break me completely. All right, friends, real talk. Is Gregory right? Is loving kids different from having kids? Can someone who can't have children still be an amazing mother? Drop your thoughts. The first weekend was baptism by fire. Joyce showed up at 8 a.m. Saturday. Gregory opened the door, looking like he hadn't slept. Fair warning, he said. They've already had pancakes, started a water fight, and Eleanor flushed one of Benjamin's action figures down the toilet. We're only 2 hours in. Joyce rolled up her sleeves. Challenge accepted. By noon, she'd established a routine. Art time for Charlotte and Ava, who needed creative outlets. Building blocks for Daniel and Benjamin, who needed to use their hands. Quiet reading time for Eleanor, who got overwhelmed by her siblings' energy. Outdoor play for Felix, who needed to burn off steam. Gregory watched from the kitchen doorway, stunned. How are you doing this? Structure. Kids thrive on structure. They've been living in chaos because they don't know what to expect. We're fixing that. Joyce looked up. I mean, if that's okay. That I'm saying, we. It's more than okay. By dinner time, all 6 children were bathed, fed, and watching a movie together. Peacefully. Like normal children. Gregory sat next to Joyce on the couch. This is the quietest this house has been in 4 years. They're good kids. They just needed someone to show them how. They like you. I like them. Is it? He stopped. Started again. Is it hard? Being around them. Given that I can't have my own. Joyce said gently. Yeah, sometimes. But it's also healing. Being what I wanted but couldn't be. Does that make sense? Perfect sense. Felix climbed onto Joyce's lap. Just crawled up and nestled in like he'd done it 1,000 times. Miss Joyce. Yeah, buddy. Are you going to stay forever? Joyce's breath caught. Gregory was watching her. I'm here now, she said carefully. That's what matters. But forever would be better. Felix, let Miss Joyce breathe, Gregory said. But Felix didn't move. And neither did Joyce. Because for the first time in 6 months, she felt like she was exactly where she was supposed to be. The weeks blurred together. Joyce taught during the week, spent every evening and weekend with the Melsons. Homework help. Bath time. Bedtime stories. Dance parties in the living room. Science experiments that sometimes went wrong. Art projects that covered every surface. She learned their personalities. Ava was the leader, bold and brave. Benjamin was the peacemaker, gentle and kind. Charlotte was the free spirit, creative and wild. Daniel was the thinker, quiet and observant. Eleanor was the sensitive one, feeling everything deeply. Felix was the adventurer, fearless and curious. She learned that Gregory sang off-key but the kids loved it anyway. That he was terrible at cooking but tried every night. That he worked from home as much as possible to be present. That he'd turned down billion-dollar deals because they'd require travel away from his children. That he was lonely. She saw it in the way he lit up when she arrived. In the way he found excuses to stay in the room when she was there. In the way he looked at her when he thought she wasn't watching. And she felt it too. The pull. The want. The dangerous thought, what if this could be real? But she pushed it down. Because this was a job. Because he was grieving his wife. Because she was broken in ways he didn't need to deal with. One Saturday evening, after the kids were asleep, Gregory poured wine. Stay, he said. Just for a drink. Just to. He shrugged. To talk. To adults. I miss talking to adults. Joyce stayed. They sat on the back porch, overlooking mountains that glowed in the twilight. Can I ask you something? Gregory said. Anything. Why teaching? Why not your own kids? Before the diagnosis, I mean. Joyce took a sip of wine. I always wanted both. Teaching felt like practice. Like I was learning to be a good mom by being a good teacher. And then, she shrugged. Then it became all I had. The only way I'd ever mother anyone. Do you still want kids? Biologically. I can't. The damage to my fallopian tubes is too severe. IVF wouldn't work. What about surrogacy? Adoption? Maybe someday. If I find someone who... She stopped. If I find someone who wants me despite that. Who doesn't see me as defective. You're not defective. Marcus thought so. Marcus was an ass. Joyce laughed despite herself. He really was, wasn't he? The worst. What kind of man leaves someone on their wedding day? The kind who wanted biological kids and a functioning uterus more than he wanted me. Gregory set down his wine, turned to face her. Joyce, look at me. She did. You are not your ability to reproduce. You are your kindness, your patience, your love, your strength. You are what you give, not what your body can or can't do. And any man who can't see that doesn't deserve you. You keep saying that. Because you keep not believing it. Why do you care? The question came out more vulnerable than she intended. Why does it matter to you what I believe about myself? Gregory looked at her for a long moment. Because you're changing my kids' lives. Because they smile now in ways they didn't before. Because you've given me my first full night's sleep in 4 years. Because... He stopped. Because what? Because I like you, he said simply. And I don't want you to think you're broken when you're the least broken person I've met in years. Joyce's heart did something complicated in her chest. Gregory, I'm not asking for anything, he said quickly. I'm not trying to make this weird. I just needed you to know that. That you matter. To them. To... He stopped. To this house. To this family. To me, he didn't say. But Joyce heard it anyway. Thank you, she whispered. They sat in companionable silence, drinking wine, watching stars appear. And Joyce felt something she hadn't felt in months. Hoped. Here's my question. Do you think Gregory is falling for Joyce? Or is he just grateful for the help? Comment what you think. It started small, Gregory's hand on her back as she bent down to tie Felix's shoe. The way he'd bring her coffee in the morning, made exactly how she liked it. The inside jokes that developed. The shared looks when the kids did something ridiculous. The night Eleanor had a nightmare and called for both of them. Daddy and Miss Joyce. I need both. They'd sat on either side of her bed, holding her hands, until she fell back asleep. And when Joyce tried to leave, Gregory caught her hand. Stay. Just for a minute. Just stay. They'd ended up in the living room, talking until 2 a.m. about everything and nothing. About Emma, about Marcus, about grief and loss and trying to rebuild lives that looked nothing like what they'd planned. Sometimes I forget she's gone, Gregory admitted. I'll think of something to tell Emma. Or I'll hear the kids laugh and turn to share it with her. And then I remember. And it hurts all over again. How long has it been? 4 years. But sometimes it feels like yesterday. Sometimes it feels like a lifetime ago. Do you think you'll ever? Joyce stopped. Ever what? Ever love someone again? Or is once enough? Gregory looked at her. I didn't think I would. Love someone again. The idea seemed impossible. Like I'd used up my one chance. And now I'm not so sure. The air between them shifted. Charged. Joyce, the kid's monitor crackled. Felix was awake, crying. The moment broke. Gregory stood. I should go. I'll see you tomorrow. He left. Joyce sat there for a long minute, her heart racing, thinking, this is dangerous. This is so dangerous. But she couldn't bring herself to walk away. 2 months into the arrangement, Joyce's mom came to visit. Diane Williams took one look at the house, at the kids climbing all over Joyce, at the way Gregory watched her daughter, and pulled Joyce aside. Baby, we need to talk. About what? About the fact that you're playing house with a man who's not yours and kids who aren't yours and what happens when this ends. It's just a job, Ma. It stopped being just a job weeks ago. I can see it on your face. You're falling for him. I'm not. Don't lie to your mama. I know that look. That's the look you had when you thought you were marrying Marcus. Except deeper. Realer. Joyce sat down. What if I am falling for him? Is that so terrible? Not terrible. Scary. Baby, he's grieving. You're healing. That's a dangerous combination. What if he's not ready? What if you're just convenient? What if those kids get attached and then he finds someone else? He wouldn't. You don't know that. You thought Marcus wouldn't leave you either. The words hit hard. True. So what do I do? Joyce whispered. Walk away. Protect myself. Let them find another nanny who won't love them as much as I do. I don't know, baby. But I know you need to be careful. Your heart's been broken once. I don't want to see it shattered completely. That night, Joyce kept her distance. Professional. Polite. Careful. Gregory noticed. Did I do something wrong? He asked after the kids were in bed. No. Then why are you acting like you're scared of me? I'm not, Joyce. He stepped closer. Talk to me, please. My mom thinks I'm getting too attached. To the kids. She stopped. To me. She couldn't look at him. This was supposed to be a job. Help you with the kids. Make some extra money. Not. Her voice cracked. Not fall in love with your entire family. Gregory went very still. Fall in love. I didn't mean that came out wrong, did it? Joyce looked up. His eyes were intense, searching. I don't know what this is, she admitted. I don't know if it's real or if I'm just desperate to feel wanted again. I don't know if you're actually interested or if I'm just convenient because I'm here. I don't know anything except that being here feels right in a way nothing has felt right in years, and that terrifies me. Gregory closed the distance between them, cupped her face in his hands. It terrifies me too, he said quietly. Because I swore I'd never do this again. Never open my heart again. Never risk losing someone again. Emma's death nearly destroyed me. Loving someone that much and losing them, I can't do it again. Then we stop, Joyce whispered, even though the words hurt. We keep this professional. We don't. But I can't stop thinking about you. His thumb brushed her cheek. I can't stop watching you with my kids and thinking, this is what it could be like. I can't stop imagining waking up next to you, coming home to you, building a life with you. Gregory, I know it's fast. I know it's complicated. I know we're both broken in different ways. But Joyce, his voice dropped. What if being broken together makes us whole? She was crying. When had she started crying? What if you're not ready? She asked. What if I'm just a placeholder for Emma? You're not. God, Joyce, you're nothing like Emma. And that's not a bad thing. That's everything. You're your own person. Your own light. And he kissed her. Soft. Tentative. Like a question. Joyce kissed him back. Like an answer. When they pulled apart, they were both breathing hard. That was. Joyce started. Yeah. We should talk about this. About what this means. About the kids, about expectations, about tomorrow, Gregory said. Tonight, can we just? He pulled her close. Held her. Can we just have this? Joyce melted into him. Yeah. We can have this. They stood there in the darkened living room, holding each other, both terrified and hopeful. And neither of them saw Felix watching from the stairs, grinning. Question time. Are they moving too fast? Or is this exactly the right pace? Tell me what you think. Felix told his siblings immediately. Daddy kissed Miss Joyce. They're gonna get married. Chaos erupted. Ava, does this mean she's our new mommy? Benjamin, are we going to have a wedding? Charlotte, can I be a flower girl? Daniel, does this mean she's staying forever? Eleanor, Is she going to love us like Mommy would have? Felix. I told you she was staying forever. Gregory tried to do damage control. Kids. Nobody said anything about marriage. Miss Joyce and we're figuring things out. That's all. But you kissed her, Ava pointed out. Very logically. That's what people do when they're in love. It's more complicated than, do you love her? Benjamin asked. Gregory looked at 6 pairs of expectant eyes. Looked at Joyce, who'd gone pale. I care about her very much, he said carefully. That's a yes, Ava translated for her siblings. Joyce excused herself. Went to the kitchen. Pressed her hands on the counter and tried to breathe. This was happening too fast. Too much. The kids were getting attached. She was getting attached. What if it all fell apart? Gregory found her. I'm sorry. They ambushed you. They're excited. That's good, right? Unless it's too much pressure. Unless you're not ready for. He gestured vaguely. For all of this. Joyce turned to face him. Are you ready for this? Really? Because I'm not going to be someone you settle for because it's convenient. Because the kids like me. Because I'm here. Is that what you think? That you're convenient? I don't know what to think. This is fast, Gregory. 6 weeks ago I was your nanny. Now we're, what? Dating. In a relationship. Playing house. What do you want us to be? I want. Joyce's voice cracked. I want this to be real. Not just for the kids. For us. But I'm scared it's not. I'm scared you're still grieving Emma and I'm just filling a hole. I'm scared the kids are going to call me mommy and then you're going to realize I'm not enough and, stop. Gregory pulled her close. You are enough. You have always been enough. This is real, Joyce. Terrifying and complicated and way too fast, but real. How do you know? Because I wake up thinking about you. Because I go to sleep thinking about you. Because when you're here, the house feels like a home instead of just a place where I'm surviving. Because my kids smile again. Because I smile again. He kissed her forehead, her cheeks, her lips. Because I'm falling in love with you, he whispered. And I don't want to stop. Joyce's heart hammered. I'm falling in love with you too. With all of you. And that's what scares me. Because what if we don't think about the what ifs? Gregory interrupted. What if we just try? See where this goes. What about the kids? What if we don't work out? They'll be devastated. Then we make sure we work out. Gregory, you can't just decide. Yes, I can. We can. Together. He took her hands. I'm not saying let's get married tomorrow. I'm saying let's try. Really try. Be together. Build this. And if it doesn't work, which I don't think will happen, we figure it out like adults. But I'm not walking away from this. From you. Unless you want me to. Joyce looked at him. At this man who'd lost everything and was brave enough to try again. At the father who loved his children enough to risk his heart. At the person who saw her as whole, not broken. I don't want you to walk away, she said quietly. Then stay. Not as a nanny. As what? As mine. As theirs. As part of this family. Joyce kissed him. Poured everything she felt into it. When she pulled back, all 6 kids were in the doorway, watching. Told you. Felix crowed. They tried to take it slow. They failed spectacularly. Within 2 weeks, Joyce had a drawer at Gregory's house. Within 3 weeks, she was staying over most nights. Within a month, the kids were calling her Miss Joyce Mommy, like it was one word. And it felt right. It felt like family. Joyce's mom was worried. Camille was skeptical. But Joyce didn't care. For the first time in months, maybe years, she was happy. Really, truly happy. And then Marcus saw them. Joyce was at the park with all 6 kids. Gregory had joined them after work. They were laughing, playing, looking like an actual family. And Marcus was there. With his new girlfriend, who was very obviously pregnant. He approached Joyce. She froze. Marcus. So you found yourself a ready-made family? How convenient. Excuse me. Kids you didn't have to birth. A man who probably just needs childcare. Perfect solution for someone who's... Gregory stepped forward. Finish that sentence and we're going to have a problem. Marcus sized him up. And you are... Gregory Melson. And you are... the man who dodged a bullet by not marrying her. Gregory's jaw tightened. You're the idiot who left her on her wedding day because she couldn't have kids. I've heard about you. You're even worse in person. At least I didn't settle for someone else's children because I was desperate. Joyce felt tears prick her eyes. But before she could respond, Ava spoke up. Miss Joyce isn't desperate. She's perfect. And she loves us. And we love her. And you're mean. All 6 kids had formed a protective circle around Joyce. Yeah. Felix added. Go away, mean man. Marcus looked at the children. At Joyce. At Gregory, who was practically vibrating with controlled rage. Whatever. Enjoy your consolation prize. He walked away. Joyce was shaking. Gregory pulled her close. He's wrong, he whispered fiercely. About everything. You hear me? Everything. But what if he's right? What if I'm just... Stop. Look at me. Gregory cupped her face. You are not settling. I am not settling. These kids are not a consolation prize. This family, this us, is real. And anyone who can't see that doesn't deserve to be part of it. The kids piled onto both of them. One big group hug in the middle of the park, and Joyce thought, this is my family. Mine. And nobody gets to take it away from me. Okay, let me ask you, was Marcus right about anything, or is he just bitter? And would you have handled that confrontation differently? Drop your thoughts. After Marcus, something shifted. Joyce moved in. Officially. Not as a nanny, not as a guest, but as Gregory's partner. The kids, almost mom. Part of the family. Her mother came around. Camille admitted she might have been wrong about Gregory. Even Joyce's teaching colleagues noticed the change. She glowed. She smiled. She talked about her kids and her family with a pride that had been missing before. 3 months into their relationship, Gregory's father came to visit. Richard Melson was 73, distinguished, and had opinions about everything. Especially his son's love life. So, he said over dinner, watching Joyce help Eleanor cut her chicken, you're the woman who's captured my son's heart. I'm Joyce, she said simply. I know who you are. I Googled you. Former teacher, turned nanny, now. What? Stepmother. Dad. Gregory warned. I'm just asking questions. Can't an old man ask questions? Joyce set down her fork. Ask whatever you want, Mr. Melson. Call me Richard. Now, Gregory tells me you can't have children. Is that true? The room went silent. Dad, that's incredibly inappropriate. It's okay, Joyce interrupted. She looked Richard in the eye. Yes. I'm infertile. Damaged fallopian tubes. Natural conception is impossible. And that doesn't bother you? Being with a man who already has 6 children? Not having your own. They are my own. Maybe not biologically, but in every way that matters. But what if Gregory wants more children? What if... Dad, stop, Gregory said firmly. Joyce is not. She's not defined by her ability to have kids. And frankly, 6 is plenty. Is it? Richard looked at Joyce. Because Emma wanted more. Before. Joyce felt like she'd been slapped. I'm not Emma. No. You're not. Emma was Gregory's wife. The mother of his children. And I'm sure she was wonderful. But I'm not trying to replace her. I'm trying to love the family she left behind. That's different. Richard studied her. Then, surprisingly, he smiled. Good answer. You've got spine. I like that. You were testing me. Of course I was testing you. These are my grandchildren. I need to know you're good enough for them. And you'll do. You'll do just fine. After dinner, after the kids were in bed, Richard pulled Gregory aside. She's good for you. For them. Don't screw this up. I'm trying not to. Then marry her. Make it official. Give those kids the mother they need. Give yourself the partner you deserve. We've only been together 3 months. So, Emma and you got engaged after 2. When you know, you know. Gregory looked toward the kitchen, where Joyce was cleaning up. I do know. But what? But what if I'm not ready? What if this is too fast? What if I mess it up? Son, you're 38 years old. You're a billionaire. You run a pharmaceutical company. You're raising 6 kids alone. And you're scared of commitment. I'm scared of losing someone again. Richard's expression softened. Emma's death wasn't your fault. And being afraid to love again, that's no way to live. That woman in there? She loves you. She loves those kids. Don't let fear steal your second chance. Gregory proposed 2 weeks later. Not at a fancy restaurant. Not with a big production. In their living room, surrounded by children, with a ring that had belonged to his grandmother. Joyce Williams, he said, getting down on one knee while 6 kids watched with barely contained excitement, you walked into my life when I was drowning. You saved my children. You saved me. And I don't want to spend another day pretending you're not my future. Will you marry me? Joyce was crying. Happy tears this time. Yes. Yes, of course yes. The kids erupted in cheers. Does this mean Miss Joyce is our mommy now? Eleanor asked. Joyce knelt down, pulled Eleanor close. Pulled all 6 of them close. If you want me to be, I would be honored to be your mom. Forever. Felix wanted to know. Forever, Joyce promised. Gregory put the ring on her finger. Kissed her. Pulled her and all 6 kids into one giant hug. And for the first time in 4 years, his house felt complete. That night, after celebrating, after the kids were asleep, Joyce and Gregory sat on the porch. Are you sure about this? Joyce asked. Really sure. Because once we do this, there's no going back. I've never been more sure of anything. You. Terrified. But sure. She looked at her ring. Your grandmother's ring. That's big. She would have loved you. You're exactly what she always said I needed. Someone strong enough to handle me. Brave enough to love my chaos. Your chaos is my chaos now. Is that okay? Joyce leaned into him. It's perfect. All of it. You, the kids, this life. It's everything I thought I'd lost when Marcus left me. Everything I thought I couldn't have. And it's mine. Ours, Gregory corrected. Ours, Joyce agreed. They sat in comfortable silence, watching stars, planning futures, and neither of them saw the storm coming. Quick question before the storm hits. Do you think they're rushing into marriage, or is this the right time? Comment below. The call came at 2 a.m. Joyce's phone. Unknown number. Hello. Is this Joyce Williams? A woman's voice. Professional. Cold. Yes. Who is this? This is attorney Sarah Brennan. I represent Victoria Hartley. She's filed for custody of the Melson sextuplets. Joyce sat bolt upright. What? Gregory woke up. What's wrong? Who's Victoria Hartley? Joyce asked the attorney. Emma Melson's sister. The children's biological aunt. She's claiming that Mr. Melson is unfit to parent 6 children, and that as their blood relative, she has a stronger claim than his fiancé, who has no biological relationship to the children and cannot have children of her own. The words hit like bullets. She can't, that's insane. Gregory is an excellent father. Nevertheless, she's filed the paperwork. Mr. Melson will be served tomorrow. I'd suggest he get an attorney. Good night. She hung up. Joyce stared at the phone. Gregory was already out of bed. What happened? Who was that? Emma's sister is suing for custody. She's saying you're unfit. She's saying. Joyce's voice broke. She's saying I have no right to be their mother because I'm not blood. Because I can't have kids. Gregory's face went white. Then red. She's what? Gregory. He was already on his phone. Calling his lawyer. Pacing. I don't care what time it is. Wake up. We have an emergency. Joyce sat on the bed, shaking. This couldn't be happening. Not now. Not when everything was finally right. Gregory finished his call. Sat next to her. My lawyer's on it. This won't go anywhere. Victoria has no grounds. She's blood. I'm not. You're their mother in every way that matters. But legally, I'm nothing. Just the nanny who moved in. The woman who can't have her own kids, so she took someone else's. Don't do that. Don't let her poison this. But it was too late. The doubt was already there. The legal documents arrived the next morning. Joyce read them while Gregory dealt with the kids' breakfast. Each word was a knife. Gregory Melson has demonstrated poor judgment in his personal life, moving a romantic partner into his home within months of meeting her, exposing 6 minor children to an unstable relationship. Joyce Williams has no biological connection to the children and is unable to provide them with siblings. Victoria Hartley, as the children's maternal aunt and only living blood relative on their mother's side, has a superior claim to custody. Mr. Melson has relied entirely on nannies and hired help, demonstrating an inability to parent effectively without external support. Joyce felt sick. Gregory found her on the porch, documents scattered around her. Don't read that. It's all lies. Is it? You have needed help. You've gone through 7 nannies. And Victoria is blood. The courts will see that my kids are happy, healthy, and loved. That's what matters. What if it's not enough? Joyce looked at him, tears streaming. What if me being here, me being infertile, me not being blood, what if I'm the reason you lose them? That's not, Joyce, you're not the problem. You're the solution. You're what made us whole. But what if the court doesn't see it that way? What if they look at me and see, her voice cracked, see exactly what Marcus saw? Someone broken. Someone not enough. Someone who doesn't deserve to be a mother. Stop it. Right now. Stop it. But she couldn't. The fear had taken root. Maybe I should leave, she whispered. Maybe if I'm not here, Victoria won't have grounds. Maybe, if you leave, you prove her right. That we're unstable. That you don't belong. Is that what you want? I want you to keep your kids. I will keep my kids. With you. We fight this together or not at all. They stared at each other, both terrified, both breaking. What if fighting together isn't enough? Joyce asked quietly. Gregory didn't have an answer. That evening, Victoria showed up. She was elegant, composed, looked nothing like Emma except for the eyes. She stood at the front door like she owned the place. I'd like to see my nieces and nephews, she said calmly. Since I'm going to be their guardian soon. You're not taking my children, Gregory said coldly. Our children. Emma's children. And you've clearly proven you can't handle them alone. 6 nannies in 4 years? A live-in girlfriend who can't even give you more children? Emma would be horrified. Emma would be grateful someone loves her kids. Emma would want family raising them. Blood. Not some barren stranger playing house. Joyce flinched. The word hit exactly where Victoria intended. Get out, Gregory said through clenched teeth. I'll see you in court, brother-in-law. And I'll see these children in my custody, where they belong. She left. Joyce stood in the hallway, frozen, barren, stranger, playing house. Every fear she'd ever had, spoken out loud. Joyce, Gregory started. Don't. Just don't. Not right now. She went upstairs. To the bedroom that was supposed to be theirs. To the life that was supposed to be theirs. And wondered if she'd been fooling herself all along. The custody hearing was set for 3 weeks. 3 weeks of lawyers, depositions, character witnesses. 3 weeks of Victoria's attorneys digging into every aspect of Gregory's life. 3 weeks of Joyce watching the man she loved fight to keep his children while she wondered if she was the reason he might lose them. The kids knew something was wrong. Why is Aunt Victoria being mean to Daddy? Ava asked one night at dinner. She's not being mean, sweetheart. She just... Gregory stopped. How did you explain this to a 4-year-old? She misses your mommy. And she thinks she should help take care of you. But we don't need her, Felix said firmly. We have you and Miss Joyce, Mommy. Eleanor started crying. Is Aunt Victoria going to take us away? Joyce pulled Eleanor onto her lap. Nobody's taking you anywhere, baby. But she didn't know if that was true. Gregory's lawyer was blunt. The judge is going to ask Joyce to testify about her relationship with the children, about her infertility, about how quickly this all happened. That's invasive, Gregory snapped. It's relevant. Victoria's argument is that Joyce is an unstable influence. A woman desperate for children she can't have, who attached herself to your family inappropriately fast. The judge will want to hear from Joyce directly. Joyce felt like she might be sick. What should I say? The truth. That you love these children. That you're not trying to replace their mother. That your inability to have biological children doesn't impact your ability to parent. But what if the judge doesn't believe me? What if they think? She couldn't finish. Then we fight harder, the lawyer said. But Joyce, you need to be prepared. Victoria's team is going to try to break you. They're going to bring up Marcus. Your wedding. Your diagnosis. Everything that makes you vulnerable. They're going to make me look pathetic. They're going to try. Don't let them. The deposition was worse than Joyce imagined. Victoria's attorney was a woman in her 50s with cold eyes and a sharper tongue. Miss Williams, you were engaged to be married in March, correct? Yes. And what happened to that engagement? My fiancé ended it. On your wedding day, wasn't it? In front of 200 guests. Joyce's hands clenched. Yes. And why did he end it? Objection, Gregory's lawyer said. Relevance. It goes to Miss Williams's state of mind when she began this relationship with Mr. Melson. Please answer the question, Miss Williams. Joyce took a breath. He ended it because I'm infertile. He wanted biological children and I couldn't give them to him. So you were emotionally vulnerable, recently rejected, when you met Mr. Melson and his 6 motherless children? I was dealing with a difficult situation, yes. And isn't it true that within weeks of meeting these children, you quit your job to become their nanny? I didn't quit. I kept teaching and helped Gregory in my free time. But you moved into his home within 2 months? Yes. And became engaged within 3 months? Yes. That's remarkably fast, wouldn't you say? For someone who'd just been left at the altar. Joyce felt tears threatening. When you know, you know. Or when you're desperate to fill a void, you latch onto the first available family. That's not what happened. Isn't it? You couldn't have your own children, so you took someone else's. 6 instant children. No pregnancy, no labor, just convenience. That's not. These children lost their mother. They're vulnerable. And you, desperate to be a mother, desperate to prove you're not broken, inserted yourself into their lives at warp speed. Isn't that the truth, Miss Williams? No. Joyce's voice cracked. I love those children. I love Gregory. This isn't about. It's about a barren woman playing house with a grieving family. Isn't it? There was that word again. Barren. Joyce stood up. We're done here. Miss Williams, we're not. Yes, we are. Because you're not interested in the truth. You're interested in making me look like a predator when all I've done is love 6 children who needed love. She walked out. Gregory found her in the parking lot, leaning against her car, crying. Joyce. She's right, Joyce sobbed. About all of it. I am desperate. I did latch on too fast. I am using your kids to fill a void. Stop. Right now. Stop. But it's true. Don't you see? Marcus was right. Victoria is right. I'm broken and desperate, and I don't deserve. Gregory grabbed her shoulders. Listen to me. You are not broken. You are not desperate. You are a woman who loves fiercely and gives everything and doesn't let the world's cruelty make you cruel. You are exactly what my children need. What I need. What if the judge doesn't see it that way? Then we appeal. We fight. We don't give up. What if fighting isn't enough? Joyce whispered. What if me being here costs you your kids? Gregory pulled her close. Then we deal with it together. But I'm not letting you go. And I'm not letting her take my children. We're a family, Joyce. We fight for family. She wanted to believe him. But the doubt had taken root too deep. That night, Joyce couldn't sleep. She walked through the house, looking at evidence of the life they'd built. Art projects on the fridge. Family photos on the walls. 6 small pairs of shoes by the door. Her engagement ring on her finger. A family. Her family. But what if she was the poison that destroyed it? She found Gregory in his study, working late, stress evident in every line of his body. Can't sleep, he asked. Thinking too much. He pulled her onto his lap. About what? About whether loving you is selfish. Whether staying is hurting you. Joyce. No, listen. Victoria's argument makes sense. We moved fast. Too fast. I did insert myself into your family because I was desperate for what I lost. And now my presence is giving her ammunition to take your kids. Our kids. Your kids, Gregory. Legally, biologically, they're yours. And if I leave, Victoria loses her argument. The unstable relationship goes away. You're just a single father doing his best. The courts might. If you're suggesting what I think you're suggesting. I'm saying maybe I should leave. Temporarily. Until the custody hearing is over. Until. No. Gregory. No. Absolutely not. You are not leaving. You are not sacrificing yourself to make this easier. We're in this together. But what if together we lose? Then we lose together. But we don't give up before we even try. Joyce buried her face in his chest. I'm so scared. Me too. But we're going to get through this. You, me, and 6 kids who need us both. She wanted to believe him. She really did. But as she lay in bed that night, she couldn't shake the feeling that sometimes love wasn't enough. And sometimes the bravest thing you could do was walk away. Real talk, do you think Joyce should leave to help Gregory's case, or is staying and fighting together the right move? I need your perspective in the comments. Joyce made her decision at 3 a.m. She packed a bag quietly, careful not to wake Gregory. Left a note on the kitchen counter. Kissed each sleeping child goodbye, tears streaming down her face. I love you. All of you. But love means putting you first. Even if it breaks me. She was halfway to her car when Gregory's voice stopped her. Don't. She turned. He stood in the doorway, barefoot, wearing only pajama pants, holding her note. I have to. You don't. You're running because you're scared. Because Victoria got in your head. Because you think you're not enough. But you're wrong. I'm giving her what she wants. Proof that we're unstable. Proof that I don't belong. You belong here. With us. With me. Joyce set down her bag. Gregory, I have been thinking about this all night. If I leave now, before the hearing, you can tell the judge we broke up. That it was mutual. That you're focusing on your kids. Victoria's entire argument falls apart. And what about my kids? What do I tell them when they wake up and you're gone? Tell them, her voice broke. Tell them I had to go. That I love them. That sometimes adults have to make hard choices. Tell them yourself. Because you're not leaving. You can't stop me. Can't I? He walked toward her. Joyce, I have spent 4 years trying to be everything for 6 kids. I have failed over and over. I have hired nannies who quit. I have missed bedtimes and school plays and first words because I was working. I have watched my children grow up without a mother and felt helpless to fix it. He took her hands. And then you walked into that hallway. You saw chaos and didn't run. You saw 6 impossible kids and fell in love with them anyway. You saw a broken man and chose him. You gave us something I thought we'd never have again, a family. A real family. And you think I'm going to let you walk away because some bitter woman is trying to tear us apart. If I stay, you might lose them. If you leave, we've already lost. Because those kids in there, they don't just love you, they need you. And so do I. Joyce was crying openly now. I'm so scared, Gregory. Scared the judge will see exactly what Victoria sees. A desperate woman. A broken woman. Someone who isn't enough. Stop saying that. Gregory's voice broke. You are enough. You have always been enough. Marcus was a fool. Victoria is bitter. And anyone who can't see your worth is blind. But what if the judge? Then we appeal. We fight harder. We hire better lawyers. We do whatever it takes. But we do it together. You and me. Partners. Family. He cupped her face, wiped her tears with his thumbs. I love you, Joyce Williams. I love you because you're kind and patient and fierce. I love you because you see broken things and fix them. I love you because you love my children like they're yours. And they are yours. Biology doesn't make a mother. Love does. And you love them more than anyone. I do, she whispered. I love them so much it hurts. Then stay. Fight with me. Show the court, show Victoria, show the world that we're a family. That we're unbreakable. Joyce looked at her bag. At the car. At the escape route she'd planned. Then she looked at Gregory. At the man who'd given her back everything she thought she'd lost. At the house full of children who called her mommy. At the life she'd built from ruins. Okay, she said quietly. I'll stay. I'll fight. Gregory pulled her into his arms, held her like he'd never let go. Thank you. Thank you for choosing us. They stood there in the driveway, holding each other as the sun started to rise. And neither of them noticed 6 small faces watching from the upstairs window. She stayed, Ava whispered. Told you she would, Felix said confidently. Miss Joyce mommy doesn't leave family. Eleanor was crying happy tears. She's really staying forever? Forever, Benjamin confirmed. Charlotte grinned. Can we go down now? I want pancakes. Miss Joyce makes the best pancakes, Daniel added. They thundered down the stairs, all 6 of them, and burst out the front door. Miss Joyce. You didn't leave. Joyce and Gregory turned. 6 children in mismatched pajamas, bedheads and morning breath, piled onto both of them in one giant hug. Did you think I'd leave you? Joyce asked, kneeling down to their level. Kinda, Eleanor admitted. People leave sometimes. Not me. Joyce said firmly. I'm not going anywhere. Ever. You're stuck with me. Promise. Felix asked. Promise. Cross my heart. Even if the mean aunt tries to take us away? Especially then. Because you know what? You're my kids. And nobody takes my kids away from me. Gregory watched her with 6 children climbing on her, looking more like a mother than anyone he'd ever seen, and fell in love with her all over again. This was his family. This was everything. And he was going to fight like hell to keep it. The custody hearing was in 1 week. Gregory's lawyer assembled their case. Character witnesses lined up, teachers from the kids' preschool, Joyce's principal, neighbors, Richard Melson. Everyone who'd seen this family together and knew the truth. Joyce prepared her testimony. Practiced staying calm. Practiced not letting Victoria's attorney break her. But the night before the hearing, she got a call. Unknown number. Again. Hello. Miss Williams? This is Judge Patricia Morrison. I'm presiding over the Melson custody case. Joyce's heart stopped. Your Honor. Is it appropriate for you to be calling me? Normally, no. But there's been a development. Victoria Hartley has withdrawn her custody petition. What? She called my chambers an hour ago. Said she's dropping the case. No explanation. Just done. Joyce couldn't breathe. Are you sure? Positive. The hearing is cancelled. The children remain with Mr. Melson. Full custody. No restrictions. Why would she? I don't know, Miss Williams. But congratulations. Your family is safe. Joyce hung up. Ran to find Gregory. She dropped it. Victoria dropped the case. We won. The kids are yours. Ours. We won. Gregory stared at her. Then grabbed her and spun her around, both of them laughing and crying. We won, he repeated. We actually won. But the question remained, why did Victoria give up? They got their answer the next morning. A letter arrived. Handwritten. From Victoria. Gregory. I came to your house yesterday. To see the children one more time before the hearing. I parked down the street and watched. I saw Joyce teaching them to plant flowers in the garden. Saw how Ava held her hand. How Benjamin brought her dandelions. How all 6 of them orbited around her like she was the sun. And I saw you. How you looked at her. How you looked at them together. How you smiled in a way you never smiled when Emma was alive. I told myself I was doing this for Emma. That she'd want her sister raising her kids. But watching you all together, I realized the truth. Emma would want her kids happy. And they are happy. They're thriving. They have a father who adores them and a mother who chose them. That's more than blood can give. I'm sorry for what I put you through. I was grieving. I was jealous. I wanted what you have. But I see now, this is where they belong. Tell Joyce I'm sorry. Tell the kids their Aunt Victoria loves them. And tell yourself, Emma would be proud of the family you've built. Maybe someday we can be family again. But for now, you have everything you need. Victoria. Joyce read the letter twice. 3 times. Tears streaming down her face. She saw it, she whispered. She saw what we have. She saw you, Gregory corrected. She saw how much you love them. How much they love you. And she couldn't deny it. Joyce looked at him. At this man who'd taken a broken woman and made her whole. Who'd given her 6 children and a future she'd thought was impossible. Marry me, she said suddenly. We're already engaged. No, I mean now. Today. This week. I don't want to wait. I want to be their mom legally. I want to be your wife legally. I want this to be real and official and permanent. Gregory grinned. You want a shotgun wedding? I want to marry you before anything else can go wrong. Before the universe throws another obstacle at us. Before he kissed her, shut her up in the best way. Yes, he said when they broke apart. Let's get married. This week. Small ceremony. Just us, the kids, and people we love. Really? Really? Joyce Williams, let's make you Joyce Melson. Let's make this official. She laughed through her tears. Okay. Yes. Let's do it. They told the kids that night at dinner. We're getting married, Gregory announced. This weekend. And we want you all to be part of it. 6 kids erupted in chaos. I knew it. Felix yelled. Can I be flower girl? Charlotte demanded. Can I carry the rings? Benjamin asked. I want to walk Miss Joyce down the aisle. Ava declared. Can we all walk her down? Eleanor asked shyly. Daniel just smiled. Does this mean Miss Joyce is officially our mom now? Joyce pulled him close. Pulled all of them close. I've been your mom for months, sweet boy. This just makes it legal. And forever? Eleanor needed to know. And forever, Joyce promised. Gregory watched his family, his real, whole, perfect family, and thought, this is it. This is everything I've ever wanted. And in 5 days, he was going to marry the woman who'd made it all possible. Final question before the happy ending. Are you crying yet? Because I am. Tell me in the comments what you think of Victoria's change of heart.